Oh, hey, everybody. Welcome to Thrive, a series focused on topics to help your agency grow. Today's topic is unleashing the power of AI, meeting your client needs and fueling your agency's growth. And AI is all anybody can talk about. But today we're going to be talking specifically about use cases built by experts that are helping businesses succeed. So this year, 35% of businesses are already using AI in some way. And it's projected by 2027 for the global market of AI to be at almost 266 billion. That's insane. So today, our goal is to hear from experts about what their clients are needing, what the market trends are, and to look at deployed and in-action use cases. We want to get some insights on how to leverage AI to fuel your agency's growth. And of course, at the end, I want to reserve a little time to answer any questions that you may have towards the expert panel. So please ask away now and I'll circle back towards the end. And one more thing to note here, Thrives are 100% authentic and we are not rehearsed. So we have not discussed any of this with our panelists. So I want to welcome our panelists. I'm really excited to have both Miguel and Marco. Miguel's the founder of Brumo Agency. Marco, the founder of Low Code Agency. Welcome.
Thanks you.
For having
Good
us.
to be here.
So glad to have y'all. I want to talk about this. And Marco, we're going to start with you. And I know you have a lot of really interesting things to talk about. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, so probably we'll start with the fact that, AI at the moment is a very, very hot topic and it's on everyone's radar, right? Everybody's seeing it, whether it's on LinkedIn or YouTube or Twitter, wherever their home is online, they're seeing it pop up all the time. And so they're always, I've had a lot of people come forward asking how they can leverage AI because they're not really sure how they can use it in their business to kind of level up the business, improve efficiency, and that sort of stuff. But what it really depends on is the data that you're feeding this AI, right? A lot of clients that I work with, they're coming to me with a problem, right? They have this problem in the business they need solving, or they need a specific app. And so this is always the first thing we address. And it's a lot to do with the data that they have kind of spread all over the place. Maybe they don't have one source of truth. So before we even get to the AI, the main job that I've been tasked with most of the time is basically cleaning up the data, getting the data in order, and then we start looking at how we can leverage AI now that we've got all this data to feed it. So some of the kind of use cases that I've been seeing pop up and that clients are finding the most useful are things like copywriting. So this can be anything to do with, emails, writing contracts, or creating, for example, product descriptions for their inventory app or something like that. And so they're kind of the main use cases. And I was originally also based in Hong Kong. And for a lot of people there, English is kind of their second language. And so I found that it's AI. Once we've got the app up and running and the data's clean and everything's, we've kind of configured the AI how we want it to be. It can really help them, for example, in an email, get the point across better, because maybe their strong suit isn't, writing out a really compelling email. But if they can just get the base of the email down, the chunk, right? And then we can use AI to enhance that. It can be really powerful. In fact, even from my own experience with the wine business that I've built an app for, there was a particular case where we delivered wine and there was no label on designating the year of the wine. And we had told them, the company, this before, but they kind of, missed that memo. And so we used AI in this case to create a really compelling email explaining everything, and it saved a contract worth, many dollars,
Big
basically.
bucks, yeah,
and so this was the first real life example that kind of opened my eyes to what's possible. And so I started implementing that into other clients' work. But yeah, they're the main things we see happening, right? So we're sorting out the data first, then we're looking how to implement AI. And one of the functions that kind of pulls all of those aspects together is this I don't know, I call it auto suggestion or AI assisted data entry that I've started experimenting with, and I'm beginning to offer clients. And this is where we're using AI to speed up the efficiency and the accuracy of data entry. So maybe I can give an example. I've got an app up at the moment. It's not, it's basically a clone of what I'm building out for clients. So there's no sensitive info, so I can show you. But this is what it would look like, right? And this is what I have kind of labeled like silent AI, where you're not seeing it really do anything flash or fancy. It's just kind of silently running in the background and assisting in certain tasks. So in this case, it's going to be data entry. So what we have here is basically, this could be a database of any products or anything like that. And what I've done here is set up something called auto select, right? So if we say here, I can say Palta 2019, right? This is a wine from Chile. And if we click auto select, assuming that it's going to behave well live, what it will do is actually automatically select all of the basically inputs that a user would normally select, right? This is already feels like magic, right? Because it's already
So wait a minute. So you just typed in a type of wine and it already, and it pre-populated all the things based on what the characteristics of that wine is?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's such a time saver, especially when you adding inventory every day. And this could be used in any kind of industry.
Absolutely. And the beauty of this is that the client can have, for example, new employees onboarded. And so long as you're configuring the AI to only respond with certain things, they don't have to have a deep knowledge of, for example, wines to be able to add accurate data. And the beauty here is that also it's not rigid, right? If like AI is fun when you're playing around with it, but it doesn't always return exactly what you're looking for, which is why I've given the ability here. For example, if it's actually a white wine, well, we just switch it to white. Nothing here is like set in stone, but what it is doing is speeding up the entire process for the client. So they've put in the wine, it's automatically selected everything. You know, we can come in and say, actually, there's also black plum, there's also blackberry aromas in this wine. And it's basically selected everything that the employee of the client would have to do. Then we can just submit it, right? Wow. And we've got it added to our inventory. And you can see, because I've given it specific answers that it's only allowed to reply with, we can now create relations based on those answers, right? So I have a table full of aromas. And these aromas, right, chamomile, it's in the floral class. It's a primary aroma. Here's the image. Because that AI gave us only the answers we want, now we can create a relation based on those answers. So this is something that I'm finding. Everybody hates data entry. Data entry is really slow, tedious. There's human error. And this is one of the latest things that I'm offering and implementing to clients as a kind of silent supercharger, I guess, on the back end, where it feels like magic. It speeds up the process. And yeah, it's just a very interesting application of AI. So that's what I wanted
really
to show.
Is, Marco, because what's so great about that, and I know Miguel wants to share as well, and I want to ask questions later. We're going to say that towards the end about how you're leveraging this and how you're approaching clients. But this is such a pain point for any organization, is data entry. And yes, what you've done is simplify it, but in a very beautiful way, give the user the ability to just sort of peruse the suggestions, right? before they make a decision. So yes, it is red. No, it's not. So it's like it's error proof. It's really incredible what you've done here.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think with AI at the moment, I'm sure in the future it'll be flawless. But because sometimes you get some wonky answers from AI, it doesn't always give you exactly what you need. The fact that, one, we are predefining the answers that it can provide, right? So I've given it a list of 100 aromas. I'm told it only to select from them because that's what we have in our database. That's what we need. And then the fact that there's also that human touch right before submission to make sure that nothing incorrect is being added. So this is, I've used the example here, but in other clients' apps, it can be, you can autofill, for example, client data or information about markets or whatever it is. It's just a really powerful use case that is appealing to a lot of clients at the moment.
That's incredible. So first off, thank you, Marco. Thanks for sharing this. I want to. I'm going to jump now to Miguel. I know Miguel wants to add something too, and then towards the end, I want to circle back and ask both of you questions about about clients and how you're actually fueling your agency with this. So Miguel, I know you also have some things you want to talk about. So where do you want to start?
Well, the first thing is there has been an incredible demand on my side, and I imagine for a lot of Glide experts building apps that leverage AI. In Marco's case, which I think is also very smart, he's also trying to find out where to add an AI component to an app that maybe originally would never use it because AI didn't exist, but now you can enhance the capabilities of that app with AI. In my case, I get a lot of clients where are already wanting to build an app that uses AI immediately because they can see the whole industry is shifting to using artificial intelligence powered apps. And they're like, how can I build an app that can leverage this new technology as soon as possible? And well, Glide happens to be, in my opinion, one of the best and fastest and most efficient of building an AI-powered tool these days because of Glide's OpenAI integration. So it's great when somebody comes to me asking for an app that is leveraging AI because I'm like, yes, Glide can do it. And I have a couple of examples of previous clients that have asked me from the beginning to use AI, and I was able to do that with Glide. So we can jump into one of those examples because I think an example speaks for itself. So if you want to share my screen, that would be awesome. Okay, so what we have here is a government project out of Jamaica, where they wanted to select the organizations to participate in a government project to reduce youth crime in Jamaica. And of course, a government project requires a lot of data to be input to decide who is the best possible candidate. And in this case, there was actually a pretty complex process. Every organization had to complete 4 different assessments. The assessments had multiple questions. One of the assessments was very unique in the sense that it was not just counting points, but it was counting how unique the answers of each applicant was compared to all the other applicants. So there was a lot of logic in the background in order to crunch all this data, right? And all of that was done with Glide alone, thanks to their computer tables, to the logic, to the custom actions. Glide makes this super easy to do without coding. So I don't know how much it would, or how long, or how costly to build an app of this complexity. I'm going to show you just the back end of this app. If we go here to applications, you can see there are maybe over 80 columns here where we're gathering data, computing data, using logic. It's very, very complex. But on top of this, they wanted an AI component to help them make the ultimate decision. So if we go here to organizations, There are 33 organizations. By the way, this is not the actual app, it's a copy of the app where all the real names have been changed. So there is no actual names, but the logic and everything else is exactly what is being now used on the field. So there's 33 organizations that applied. They completed all the assessments, they entered all the data, but because there's so much data that the researchers, in this case they're called, have to go through in order to make a decision. We have here like an overall score, we have weighted scores, we have, and this is the AI component. They wanted an AI to be able to crunch all the results and then give a little summary as to why this specific applicant should be eligible for this program or not, right?
That's incredible.
So, exactly. So imagine you have all this data, you have all the answers for all the different scores, but then you want just like an overall insight into why is this company a good candidate or not. And then we craft several prompts until we get a prompt result from OpenAI that starts to make sense and is not hallucinating too much, and maybe in 1 or 2 paragraphs in plain words tell us why is this a good candidate. So this is a great time saver for a situation like this where you have to select for multiple applicants and a lot of data in order to make a decision. So I think this is a great case for OpenAI, right?
Look, I think this is incredible because, again, similar to what Marco explained, is that you're not really changing the process. What you're doing is you're simplifying the required input of humans to give this a quick weight so people can find something. So you're crunching lots of data, presenting, hey, you may want to look at this, just like Marco did with, instead of inputting all of the product information, making it fast. This is such a really good use case for leveraging AI. I love this. I love this, Miguel.
Yes. So here we have one of the prompts that we used, and basically what we're grabbing is all the scores from all the different assessments, then telling AI what is the weighted value of each of the scores, and then basically explain the performance of each organization based on these scores. The great thing about OpenAI or these large language models is that you can ask questions like a normal human being, right? It's like, could you just tell me in plain words, based on this data, why is this organization great? And then we are using like a template column in order to dynamically generate each prompt, so we don't have to enter this manually every single time. So that's great. The ability to template and dynamically change the prompts real time is an amazing time saver. So this is one of the use cases.
That's incredible.
All right. So if you want, I can jump to the next, or if you have any questions.
Yeah, let's look at the next one, and then I've got some other follow-up questions. We have some also from our viewers. So go ahead, please.
Okay. Yeah. So this one is a ideation platform. So large organizations, maybe every quarter they get together and maybe they grab the engineering team and they have to figure out, okay, how can we improve X and Y product? And the way they do it sometimes is they get together on a big boardroom, and for 2 or 3 days, they start brainstorming, right? And throughout this brainstorming process, which traditionally was done with Excel sheets or PowerPoints or just Dropbox, everybody would contribute ideas, right? And it could be pictures, blueprints, just pieces of text or something like that. And then at the end of the 3 days where they're brainstorming new ways of improving their product, they will select the best ideas, and then they will implement a few of those in their next product release, right? So with what this platform does, all built with Glide, and actually this is an actual product. It's called Satori. We combine those 3 days and all of that data into an app where all the teams can collaborate and contribute their ideas. In this case, it has a 2-stage process, which is first, they collect what you could call the building blocks of innovative ideas, which they call insights. And the team would spend, a couple of days collaborating to collect us all the insights. And then traditionally, manually, they would select what are the best insights to generate ideas to improve their services or their products. What they wanted is to add an AI component to generate ideas automatically. They're like, okay, we can do this manually, no problem. But what would be the advantage of leveraging AI to come up with new ideas? And so this is really cool because here we go to generate ideas. Remember, this would be done manually in the past. Now they can click a button here. They can select one of several prompts to see which one gives the results they want to. Then they can select as many insights as they can, remembering that, of course, there is a limit as to how much data you can send inside a prompt. So obviously, this is going to increase in the future with different platforms, different systems and language models. But right now, of course, there's a limitation. But let's say they can add up to 10 different insights. And then all they have to do is click generate. I mean, I can try it. I don't know if it's going to work right now, but it's going to say generating ideas. And this is kind of like magic, like the same as Marco, where you're like, what is going on here, right? And here it says done. Here are some ideas. And boom, there you go. You got a bunch of ideas. Some of them have been added already in the past, but you can remove them. You can add them. And then and you can change the prompt to generate new ideas. And maybe some of them are useless. But if you get maybe out of 10 ideas, a really good idea, this is already worth using AI to basically come up with new ideas, to innovate within a big company, right?
And this is cool because you have a client that's using this. They are using this to ideate as a team.
Exactly.
This is a real world use case. Miguel, yes. I need this. I need something like this for sure.
Yeah, I could use it myself, right? Like you're like, okay, you want to generate new ideas. Of course, you can go directly to ChatGPT and ask it, but it's not going to look as pretty as having a branded, beautiful interface that looks like like an enterprise app instead of something like gray where you just type text, right? This is a lot more powerful, more customizable. You can play with prompts. You don't need to know how to code in order to leverage it. So I think it's a very exciting application.
Oh, 100%. And not only that, but you can in the back end bake in the team communication. They can upvote, they can they can recommend. There's other things you can do in this setting that you just can't do with the prompt, right? So this is
exactly
way more tailorable, way more customizable, feels more proprietary. This is what businesses want.
Exactly. Yeah. Collaboration. Of course, with Glide you can build. If we go scroll down here, there is a whole section where it's called discussion. People can make posts. They can talk about, hey, do you like this idea or not? You can comment. You can like. You can have your own little LinkedIn social network on top of this, built with Glide, without coding.
I love this. This is incredible, Miguel. So yeah. I want to bring back at this point, I'm going to bring Marco back up, and if it's possible, let's what did we just learn, right? So one, everybody wants to use AI, but they don't know how. And it starts with the data, making sure your data is set and prepared to be useful. And AI can sort large amounts of data quickly and help you ideate. It can help teams get more efficient when writing copy, entering and parsing data, especially when English isn't their language. AI can save companies money and help them make more too. I mean, we've learned a lot here, I think, but the one thing that I do want to talk about, and I have lots of questions for y'all, is how are you leveraging this to fuel your agency's growth? And I'm going to offer this first question. And by the way, anybody that has any questions or thoughts that you want to ask our panelists, please go ahead and do so. But let me start here with what are y'all doing? Are you getting new clients with this AI, or are you going back to existing clients? What's the demand in the market? I'm just curious.
Well, maybe I can jump in, give Grumo a bit of a break. So for me, it's never a case where I'm leading with AI. I'm always trying to address their specific problem. So they'll usually come to me with a specific problem, and then the focus will be on solving that. But then what I'll do is, once they've seen how well Glide can solve their problems, there's always this light bulb moment where they go, "Oh, what else can it do? What else can it do?" And this is when we can start talking about phase 2, phase 3, where we start implementing AI. And so in my particular experience, it's always been the kind of the cherry on top, the spark that gets their curiosity going, that leads to further phases where we're building out the next stages of the app. So that I haven't had too many people come directly looking for an AI specific app. They'll almost always bring it up on the call. And for me, it's an easy answer. Like Grumo was saying, because it's so easy to implement thanks to Glide, when they come up, they'll bring up, AI as a topic. And what I love is that I can say, yeah, no problems. Like, we can implement that. That's easy to do. And then the thoughts start ticking over. So that's, I'm not exactly leading with it, but I'm always giving them like reassurance that we can implement it, and usually it leads to further phases of projects. So I'm not sure if Miguel has different experience.
My experience maybe is a little bit different. This is all very recent, by the way. Like, OpenAI and all these large language models are like just a few months old, and people are learning about them as we speak. To me, it would be amazing that anybody hasn't heard about them, because they're just taking over the industry. But it's true. There's a lot of people that they don't know about them. And when you say that this A or B thing is possible, they're like, really? Are you serious? What else could we do with this? It seems like the sky is the limit, right? In my case, I would say in the last 2-3 months, I started to see more and more people coming, asking directly for an application that leverages AI from the beginning. In the case of the government app, they wanted to explore it because they didn't know if it was possible. And in my case, I didn't know if it was possible to come up with anything useful in terms of analyzing data using OpenAI. So I was learning at the same time, and then it turns out that, oh yeah, actually we can get some interesting results. So everything is very new. Then I do promote myself on social media, specifically YouTube. So every time I upload, let's say, a tutorial, and I talk about ChatGPT or OpenAI, that is going to organically generate people asking for apps that can do something like that. So if I'm demonstrating that OpenAI can do something, and some of my viewers naturally are going to be like, oh, really? I would like to build an app like that. So I'm not leading, like cold calling people saying, hey, I can build you an AI app, tomorrow with Light. It's more like they're finding me organically through social media. And then they're like, oh, that sounds very interesting. Maybe I should talk to Miguel to build something similar. So that's how it's working in my case.
So in a nutshell, if a client, a new client or an existing client has, you look at their needs for the solution, and with your knowledge of Glide and with how to integrate AI, you can create shortcuts for them or offerings of those shortcuts if they want it. And then that triggers a whole rabbit hole of possible additional AI things that you can do, which is really interesting here. And this is one of the questions that Cassandra just asked. And I want to sort of preface this in a different way. Perhaps when you have an AI conversation, do you upsell AI? Is it an additional service that you charge differently? I'm just curious. Do you package it differently? I don't want to, you don't have to tell me prices, but I'm just curious how you position. Is it just part of your initial solution? Is it an add-on service?
I mean, I can jump in and answer, and then maybe Miguel can share his thoughts.
Yeah.
For me, I'm never like adding AI, like presenting options, and then the AI upgrade is $5,000. What I'm basically doing is looking at the scope of the project, and this is something that is very important for experts, is that you must always get a clearly defined scope, because otherwise you get scope creep, where they ask, oh, can we add this? Can we add this? Can we add? And then it's just a never ending story where you're just basically stuck because you didn't define a scope of work that was very clear in what is, I call it the primary deliverable, right? What is the big chunk app that you're going to give them? And then that marks the job as complete. So with me, it's never really, okay, here's the, AI upgrade, here's this, here's that. Basically, I'll look at the scope of work and determine, okay, what sort of project is it? Is it a small CRM app where, okay, integrating AI to create emails on the fly is a fairly simple integration for me. It's not too hard. Or is it a big, full comprehensive data studio where we're pulling in information from various different sources and they want a single source of truth with all of this? So in terms of pricing, for me, I'm never doing it like different packages. Basically, I'll do it just project-based pricing. I give them one price. I don't typically give them options. And to be honest, I haven't really had anyone push back against the pricing that I've been offering. And it's certainly not cheap as well, especially if one of the things I've been doing lately is like Grumo does, like Miguel does, posting videos, showing them what's possible. And this positions you as an expert, which we are, right? We're in Glide experts. We're good at what we do. And in this case, we're showcasing it. And so you're never going to give them some sort of price that's just ridiculous and rip them off. And so the pricing I give is it's fair. It's inclusive of AI if they want it, but mostly it's just based on the size of the project. So
it's project based, not a la carte. Yes. And it's this is what it takes to get this off the ground. Here are the features. I'm just curious about that. And something you said that I think is a good follow-up question, Marco, is you don't get a lot of pushback from clients on a lot of this. So my question to both of you would be, during some of these AI conversations, do you get any pushback or objections from clients leveraging AI, or is everybody just really hungry for it?
Yeah, I can take that question. First of all, I agree with Marco. As an expert, having a very clear scope of what the app is going to include from the beginning is crucial. Anybody has worked for an agency knows that scope creep is the worst enemy of happiness. So yeah, make sure everything is listed, then quote on that, and also make sure that tell them if anything is asked that is beyond the scope, I'll be happy to address it, but that's going to be added at a second stage, and it's going to cost X and Y. That has to be clear from the beginning. Some clients understand it, and some clients, because of the nature of the app, I have a client where and I have many clients in the past, but like, oh, and could you add this? And because they start seeing the possibilities, right? And of course they get super excited and they're like, could you add this feature? Could you add this feature? And of course, if they know in advance that, yes, I can add almost anything with Glide, it's amazing, but it's outside the scope. So on stage, I usually work on stages. I said, stage 1 is going to cover this, and it's going to take X amount of time and X amount of money. Then stage 2 is going to cover everything else, and stage 3, and we can keep going until stage whatever, right? So that's very important. And now I forgot what was the other question.
Well, I can jump in. I was going to say something, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
One of the things I do is, in the scope of work, I have it very clearly defined, and I say, basically anything outside of this will lead to another project order, and it'll be another thing. But I do also include a little clause where it says, basically, here's the scope of work, here's what they need. And then I have something at the bottom that says, and any additional features requested by the client deemed feasible and within the scope by the developer will also be added. Because if you've got this concrete scope, I always want to, if they want something very small and it doesn't take me much effort and it's the upside for them is quite big, then I'm happy to put that in, but it's at my discretion. It's up to me whether I'm adding it or not. And so this is always just a little line at the bottom of the scope that I put in that basically gives me the flexibility If they come up with a suggestion, I can add it. But if I don't deem it feasible and reasonable within the scope, it's going to be a new thing. So yeah,
it's so
that's a
funny,
great idea.
Marco, because and Miguel, like this was our first Thrive, was talking about the initial conversation, setting the scope. Because I agree, it is the most important thing as an agency, setting those expectations, setting those boundaries. It's good working parameters. So
yes.
I agree with both of you. It's really, really, really important. So let me ask you guys this. Are there what tips would you like to offer other experts that are just getting started, that are looking to provide AI powered solutions to their clients?
Miguel, you want to jump in?
Oh yeah, sure. To me is, first of all, building apps with Glide is fun. At least I find it like a really fun thing to do. So start building apps, get help from the community, watch everybody's YouTube videos. Mine, Roberto Petito's, I know he's listening. He's awesome. He's got amazing YouTube videos. Marco's, everybody. Jesus, we all are here to help you. We love to work with Glide, and we're constantly publishing free content for you to learn how to build amazing apps with Glide. So leverage that, take advantage of that, and enjoy building apps for yourself, for your clients. And in regards of leveraging artificial intelligence, in this case, OpenAI, in the future, Claude 2 or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Artificial intelligence is here to stay. It's only going to get better, faster, smarter. Someday, super, super smart. Hopefully, we still have a job. It doesn't matter. It's here to stay. So start playing with it. It's actually pretty easy. It's not that difficult. Like maybe if you hear the word artificial intelligence, you're overwhelmed. Oh my God, that's so difficult. But it's actually, you can, I think I did a little demo the other day where you can build an AI-powered app in literally a few minutes. So just start playing and having fun with Glide and OpenAI.
Something I want to add to this at the end of this. So whoever's watching, if you now look at the description, Miguel, Marco, I want to feature one of your videos, tutorials that you've done regarding AI and what you've built. I'll add that to the description, and also a link to how people possibly, if anybody's watching this, want to reach out and hire y'all. I'll add both of y'all to the description. We'll do that after this. But Marco, did you want to add something to that? I didn't want to cut you off.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, there's so much good content out there that a lot of experts are posting. Like Miguel was saying, you know, there's himself, Bob, Jesus, myself. So, and also, like, I see in the Glide community that everybody's willing to help each other. And this is one of the I actually have it's called Low Code School, and basically it's where I help people level up their Glide skills and make a living as a Glide developer. And the philosophy there is that a rising tide lifts all boats, right? So get involved in Glide forums in the community, look at the videos, and also I would say focus on solving problems for the client, because as soon as you give them that pain relief, they go, you know, holy crap, this is amazing. And as Miguel was saying, if it's a big project, and even if it's not, split it into phases, right? Because I would say probably 80 to 90% of my clients are repeat clients, because they want the next phase. All right, what are we doing next? What else are we streamlining? What else are we automating? How are we going to leverage AI? So yeah, do it in phases. Join some sort of community, watch videos, ask the experts. They're more than likely going to give you a great answer. They always want to help. That's what I've found. And yeah, that's my take on it.
Marco, you set me up perfectly. So the question is where do you go to learn more? If you want to join us in this incredible experts community, which I have to say, I have to agree with you. It's filled with people who just want to win together. And I love this, building real solutions to solve real world problems for businesses that need it. This is exactly what y'all do. And I'm just so lucky to be a part of it. So you can go to glideapps.com/solutions/agencies. You can join the expert program. We're so glad. We would love to have you. It would be amazing. I want to say thanks to both of you. Miguel, Marco, you brought some real incredible insights, real world examples of what people are doing to use AI to solve problems, move faster, a lot of different things. And I just love it. So I want to say thanks to everybody watching. I'll see you in the community. Let's give some love to Miguel and Marco. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so
Cheers.
much. Until next time.